Hello, happy Friday, guys. Hello, everybody. I'm just catching up with you guys, saying hi. I have couple minutes before I have to go today on this super hot Friday, last day of summer here in US. We have you can easily get a heat stroke today in Michigan. It's in 90s. It's been pretty unusual for this kind of weather, this late in September. So in the morning, I actually overcame my feelings and decided to go to run in the woods while the weather was cool. Michigan is one of those states where you can be in a sweatshirt and then by the afternoon you feel like a heat stroke. So that's what was happening here today. But I came out, I did my running in the morning, so that was great. And then the rest of the day you kind of have to hide in the air conditioner. It was pretty intense today. It was kind of fun in a way as well, because most people packed away the summer clothes. So that's a little bit update what's been going on. Some of you guys probably wonder what's going on with my videos on YouTube. I just took a couple days off for a strategy. I'm working on my camera, so my videos gonna be coming consistently as they usually do. But today I'm just gonna spend a couple of minutes talking about advantages and disadvantages of country girls and big city girls. Some of you guys know I was born in a big city. I am from Kiev, Ukraine. I love my city. I love being big city girl. I like things that I had available when I was in my city. I do absolutely love the possibilities that big city give you. And I often talk with men, and they want to do one thing. They have a particular idea of the ladies they want to meet, and I often wonder if that is a good idea. And so today, just I'm gonna cover a few things about the differences, with country girls and girls from the big city. A lot of people say, oh, girls from small towns, they're more genuine, they're more simple, they aren't scams or anything like that, or they have better, I don't know, just that they in some ways nicer. And it can be very true. It can be true. It really depends on the family and on the environment that the girl grew up in. And very often the country people have big heart. They are closer, down to earth. They are maybe don't have some maybe like negative materialistic ideas, but it's not always the case, guys. One thing I want to warn you about is a lot of times the country girls, or not so much the country, but small town girls. You see, in Ukraine, small town is considered, 300,000 people is a small town. So, yeah, in US, like I live in a city that's probably, I don't know, 10,000 people. Just so you know, it's a little different. A lot of times, those people from the smaller town, they are, in a way, they are like, I would say maybe less privileged. And sometimes they actually can have also, I wouldn't be just relaxing and thinking, oh my gosh, she's from small town, she must be nice. It doesn't always mean that the lady is nice and she has clear intention just because she's from small town. Very often these girls are very opportunistic. They look for any opportunity to change their life and move to a big city, because unlike US, in Ukraine we have the opposite. Here in US, suburbs are doing really well, and often big cities have a lot of crime problems. They have bad neighborhoods and things like that. In Ukraine, it's the other way around. Everybody want to be in a big city because the pay is bigger and there is way more opportunities in a big city compared to a small one. So it's not always the case that the small town girl will be like really sweet and have just will be entirely family oriented and be just this very mild, sweet person and genuine. It's not always the case. It's often can be the case, but it's really a huge generalization. On the other hand, if you are the small town person, if you don't know very much about Ukrainian culture, Russian culture, you never read any books, you know nothing about our history, you don't know much about history as well, you're not really interested in learning, and you kind of you go into work, you do some work, you like it, but you don't have this big understanding like of the world, and you're not a big traveler. Just in generally, culture, history, literature is not so interesting for you. You're just looking for a woman. You probably be more successful looking in a country, because you might find in somebody who won't care about those things so much. What they would care about is having maybe a nice husband who's taking care of things, and like country house, and not very many ambitions, and just very very simple life. So it's all very very individual, but it is very important that in the beginning of your communication you do the value check. You see if your values, your interests in life, and your plans for future are somewhat alike. It is super important, because very often guys overlook those things. If her goals are very different than yours, she might get extremely depressed when she will see, oh my gosh, this is a country life, there is social life in US. I don't know, guys, at least where I live is very poor. And in Ukraine is the other way around. There is a lot of social life. People are out, they meet way more often than here. So you might have more bumps to your relationship if you won't figure out at first what is your lady about, except that she's pretty, except that you really attracted to her, but what is she about, what is her values. You see, if her value is most of all family, if most of all she wants to have a child and she wants to settle down, she doesn't mind living in a country, and that you have a vehicle so you can go out for events. So if you got all these things, is that you know about her, if she's not this person that is into literature, and she can't live without the books and the culture, and you might be on the same page. One thing, guys, it's not very pleasant, but I have to say, a lot of Western people, not just American but Western, can be quite ignorant about, they say, sometimes I hear things about Russia and Ukraine that had never happened, and I can see that the person have no idea what they're talking about. They have absolutely no clue, but yet they are just talking and making some points, something they overheard somewhere. They've never researched, they never attempt to learn the country's history, the language, the literature. So if you have this very simple kind of outlook on life, you don't have much interest in don't, first of all, don't analyze what you don't know, like, because there is so much conclusion, and most they come from the people that never traveled, never learned, never speaks the language. There is this conclusion, like I said, the one I run to very often, because I live in a small city. Each time I say that I'm going to Ukraine or something like this, they really imagine this country that has nothing but land and wheat and I don't know, potatoes, and this is all they see, and even my son was in shock when he hear when people saying things about Ukraine, that that would be fine. We definitely have agriculture in Ukraine, but we also have incredible heritage of culture, and and science and knowledge and architecture, and very sophisticated city where I'm from. So you don't want to be arrogant, you don't want to be ignorant. So if you would like to learn about the culture, you can always do it, even online. There is so many ways to learn and read and try to understand. actually, what kind of lady are you going for? Are you going for a lady that, you're trying to find a lady that looks like she can be your daughter, and you want to just everybody to be jealous on the outer? Do you have this outer motives? That's why you want to have a big city girl that looks like a model, and you're gonna go and show off her to her friends, and she will probably, die here in the country. I don't mean literally die, but I mean she'll be bored out of her mind, and one day you understand that you need to do a little bit more research before you commit to something like that. You need to have a little bit more in common with a lady before you think that you got it all, and you got the possibility to provide your life. You're now talking about big city life. Your life compared to big city life can be extremely bored, and the lady can be extremely dissatisfied. There is a lot of bad information about big city girls, that they are all gold diggers, that they are very materialistic, but very often it's absolutely not true, because often they are very ambitious, they count on themselves, they have very good education, and they have drive. They're very driven, and they go for things. They just go out there, and if you are here in US will have some challenges, something happens with your job, with your house, that's the kind of woman that, first of all, she speaks English very well, and she will adjust to anything, and she'll push through. She will get education, or she will get certification for what she already has. She will learn a new skill because she pushes through, and she already invested in her growth. She already had done things, and she can perfectly live without you in her beautiful big city, because she has opportunities, she has events that she likes to go. There is so many events, so many beautiful buildings. Of course, I always, I never knew I love architecture that much since I came here. There are a lot to do for her, and there is also people and men, by the way, of her culture that she can joke with, where she can be intellectually she can be intellectually connected, and she can intelligence is very important, and she can really build those connections. Although we all say that we don't have enough of men in Ukraine, when you go to certain levels, there is enough of men to choose from, of enough of higher level men. And if you are up to if you match their level, I always say this: a beautiful woman always have admirers. She always have a fan club of men. If she is attractive, she is smart, and she is ambitious, she has a good heart, regardless where she lives, she always have her fan club. She might be very humble and never talk about it, but she will always be admired, she will always be recognized, regardless how many other beautiful women are out there, because she isn't only beautiful, but she has a lot to offer. She also have good values, good education, and she is a woman just all alone. She's a woman of value. So don't be ignorant. Don't think that if you offer her to live in her village, that she'll be like thrilled, and she never seen anything better. So with women like that, you need to build a real relationship. Then she will consider being with you, not because she will move to US, although she probably would find a lot of ways to express herself here after some time, but she will move or consider doing that, going in relationship with you, because she is in it for a relationship, because she finds you the best man she's ever met, because you know how to treat her, because you show interest in learning about her, because you are that man with all in one. You have great values, you have respect, you have huge appreciation for who she is, and you are interested in her. You want to get to know her, you feel amazing around her, and you want to build life together, you want to grow with her together. If you want to catch attention of a woman who is successful like that in Ukraine, you have to be all those things. Don't have an illusion, when you just, again, guys, I just want you to understand this. When there is you have to figure out what stands out about you, what is your personality. And just because you finish school, just because you a grown up, obviously right now you might be even, somewhere in your midlife. If you stop learning, if you stop growing, if you don't have purpose, don't even hope for a woman like that to be interested in you, especially if she is one of those women who has great life in Ukraine. So yes, you might make 10 times more money, 20 times more money than she does, but your life still might be greater in Ukraine or Russia or anywhere else in your amazing cities than in your tiny little town in US or big town in US for that matter. It's not the competition. I am just trying to tell you guys, you have to be more realistic and think what's so great about you. What makes you such a catch? And if you show up, I made a video about dates before. If you show up to a date, in your Google short that you got for free 5 years ago, and you didn't even care of ironing, she might make her mind and say, man, this guy is sloppy. So, not to be too hard on you guys, but my kind of, my job, what I'm doing, I'm not supposed to be always nice and sugary. I have to say how things are. And I based I base things that I say on my own experience, and also, of course, on the letters and comments and experiences that guys who travel or have unsuccessful or successful relationships share with me. So I have to make it real, because there is this thing out there that Ukrainian women are desperate and things like that. And obviously there are women that are desperate, there are women that are not very classy, there are women that don't worth it, there are women that just have the materialistic expectations, and they are not that interesting, they have nothing but their appearance, barely, so there is someone for everyone. So if you want your lady to be a good match for you, if you want to find that special person, you have to, first of all, and I always say this, you have to work on yourself. You have to sit down one day and think, actually, what are your strong points? Like, what can you offer? What makes you unique? Because we are all unique. I just watched the speech of Mel Robbins for probably third or fourth time, and she says that chance of us being born on this planet, to our parents, to have our DNA, country, time, and all the things. So every one of us, every single one of us, the chances of us being here the way we are, from the parents we are and all that, is 1 out of 400 billion or something crazy like that. So we are pretty unique, every one of them. And in order to be noticeable, in order just not even noticeable, that's the wrong word, in order just to be ourselves, to be able to bring some value, we have to sometimes start over. Our hair, nails, and skin renew, I think, every 7 years. So we have to be that person that is up to date. If you do not have knowledge that you need to have, if the only thing about Ukraine that is that the Ukrainian women are pretty, and often they are educated, and often they're family oriented, as well as they are ambitious and all those beautiful things, well, maybe you should learn something more. Maybe you should learn more about the culture, the country, and kind of work on yourself a little bit, because being ignorant doesn't make you attractive, doesn't make a person want to open up. When you feel that, okay, I'm from America, I'm from big countries, so everybody else is kind of, I don't know how to say it, like minor influence, you are wrong. You are totally wrong, because this country's been there a very long time. There is a long history, and there is wisdom in about every nation. Every nation on the planet has their wisdom. And it's a beautiful thing. Instead of being ignorant, connect and learn. So that's what I would say, guys. And I'm happy to see here today. I see some of my guys, my comments here always delay and I always see them after, but I see Jorgen from Austria. Nice to see you, Jorgen. And I see Mitch from Michigan, actually my neighbor. We hadn't met yet, but it's always nice to see you, Mitch. So I see some other of my guys, but I think maybe it's a connection. I can't quite, things are kind of delaying here. But my point today was, guys, let's not so much concentrating on the other people. Let's work on ourselves some more. I'm gonna be, this coming week, I'm gonna be posting a lot of things in our VIP club, in our close Facebook group, because I'm doing a lot of change in my own life and I wanna share and exchange with you guys. This is number one. And number two, first figure out what kind of person you are, you know, what you're going for and what is a good match for you. And then based on that, see, you know, what kind of lady you need. Do you really need the lady who's looks like a model and have or do not have ambitions? Is she gonna be miserable here? Or do you want a lady with more family oriented? It's all depends, but very often I see guys that in reality need a lady who is a little bit older, much closer to their age, who is, I mean by older I mean just more mature, and they need a lady who is more soft and family oriented and maybe not necessarily, you know, looking like one of the top models, but still very attractive. But these guys usually get totally head over heels over the ladies that are completely out of their league, and then it lasts, you know, for years and years. You are not successful. So what is a successful strategy? I'm gonna talk in my next video, so my next live video, and also in our VIP club on Monday night we're gonna be talking about successful strategies and things that work, because some of you guys spent many years and couldn't figure out, kind of having cat in a bag. I know some people who had 10 plus years, 15, 20 years of search. So we're gonna address that. And you know, I post today on my personal page that there is no defeat, no final defeat if you just keep going, but also find a new strategy. So thank you guys. I hope I gave you an idea that things aren't as always clear as they look like. And I'm gonna make more videos also about the country girls and the big city girls. Gonna give you as much clarity as I can. Thank you guys. I'm very happy to see my VIP club members today. Very happy to see the guys from the VIP today. I wish you a wonderful Friday night, and I will see you very soon.